grab a drink because it is a beautiful Saturday and we have a lot to get done. I have started weeding. I like to rake around all of the dirt because then the weeds kind of come to the surface and they're much easier to pick out. I will pull everything over into a pile and then I just come through and I pull out the weeds, shaking off as much of the soil as I can. Okay, this bed is good. It's going to be ready to plant in. I haven't 100% decided what I'm going to put in yet, but I'm actually thinking about something that's going to turn over quickly, like maybe beets or something fast growing like that. Now I'm just going to cut down this Echinacea because it is going to grow new anyway. So I just kind of want to get some of the dead stuff out of the way because I'm going to divide this into 2 plants. The lemon balm smells amazing. It is covering this whole area back here. If you've never grown it before, it's in the mint family and it spreads like crazy. I knew that when I first put it in this bed, but with my gardening goals this year, I really think I need as much garden bed space as I can get. So I might actually take it out and replant it somewhere where it can just go crazy. Because if I leave it in this bed, it's just going to keep spreading and I really want a whole lot of growing space. So I think it needs to come out and then I'll just transplant it somewhere else. It probably will keep popping up and I will just have to keep pulling it out as it does. But I mean, it's really an amazing plant and it smells so divine. It may just be one that you want to plant in a container for yourself. I know it's like super bright and hard to see, but what I'm doing is just coming in here and pulling back this lemon balm and pulling some of it out if I can, and I'll just cut this off. But I really want to see exactly where my Echinacea plant is and where the roots are so I can figure out the best place to divide it in half. Now I just want to dig the roots out a little bit around my Echinacea plant so I can see what I am working with under the soil, and it also makes it easier to cut it in half and then take the other piece and replant it. Okay, so now that I got that done, and hopefully I've angled it so you can see well, but I am just gonna go right in here and start cutting. Okay, we did it. It is in half. Now I'm just going to work to pull it out. Let me see if I can grab this so I can show you. Look at that root. Yes. That is a beautiful root system. It looks really good. When you're making like Echinacea tincture and things like that, the root is typically used, but you can use the stems, the leaves, and the flowers. And the stems, leaves, and flowers, when dried, make really good tea also. But you're gonna get a lot of the medicinal benefits from the roots. So I'm gonna separate this into 2 plants because I really want the root system to get even bigger this year. I'm not gonna harvest any of this right now because I already have some Echinacea tincture going, and I wanna see, plus I don't wanna stress out the plant too much more because I just cut it in half, but it will be totally fine. Look, it's starting to already make a little comeback for spring, so that's exciting. We're expecting a lot of rain tomorrow, so I'm not gonna water this in or anything after I transplant it right next to it. We'll just cover this guy back up and leave him right where he is, like this. And then I'm just gonna move this guy a little ways. Let me see. I'm gonna move this guy probably about right over here. And then I'll keep doing this over the years so that I can get a really good amount. All right, so here's my first plant. I have covered all the roots back up with dirt, and now I'm digging a hole over here for my second plant, and I want to make the hole big enough that I can plant it at the same depth that I just took it out. So I want to plant it this steep. This is some really good loose dirt. I love working the dirt right before spring and making sure it's good and loose. You want that dark, rich color, which I can't really tell by the lighting right now if you can even see it, but that is like good black dirt. Okay, so this hole looks like it's going to be big enough, just like that. Kind of tuck these roots down a little bit, and then I'm just going to fill it back in with the soil. So you can see I filled it just as deep as the other one. And like I said, I'm not going to water it in because we're supposed to be getting a lot of rain tomorrow. So that will do the job for me. Done. So now I have split my Echinacea plant into two. After winter, it feels so good to be getting stuff done out here. I need to find a good place for where I can transplant that lemon balm somewhere where it's going to be out of the way, still get sun, and can just go crazy because I do love using it and it's a great plant. Now I'm working on this bed over here. It basically got taken over by wild strawberries, so I'm just turning up the dirt and then trying to get as much of it out as I can, including as many of the roots as I can, since these strawberries like to hop all over the place. Okay, now this bed is just about done. I'm just finishing pulling out any other little bits I can get. I'm not super worried if some is left behind because I can just grab that later or when I am planting in this bed. But for the most part, it looks really good. That's probably all I'll do for now as far as weeding goes, because I got 2 beds done and there's going to be a lot of space to plant seeds, and I'd really like to go ahead and get some of those things in the ground. Plus, I still have a lot of seeds to start inside, and I'm already running out of time for the day. Here is this bed over here. This is where the majority of my garlic is. It all looks beautiful. It has new growth coming in. I just recently fertilized with some blood meal, so that should get it a real good jump start for all this spring weather we have coming. I will note, if your garlic looks like mine and you're getting a lot of these dead or yellowing outer leaves, it's totally okay. Everything looks great. It's all got new growth coming in, so I'm really not worried about these first little layers here.